They're out on the field. The pride of the Southland band crisply marches into the Giant T. The rear, the roar of 97,000 fans rises with each rhythmic step. In the background, George Beaches is singing "Fight, Balls, Fight." The orange and white Shakers flood the air. The Volunteers are ready at the north end of the football field to burst through the gate. They're coming now, racing onto the field through the Giant T. In that magic moment that says, wherever you are, it's football time in Tennessee.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. What a great day of college football yesterday. It's always fun when Tennessee's on a bye week and we get to sit back and watch everybody else. And look, that's what started this little video series of emotional reactions to scores around the SEC. And that's exactly what we saw yesterday. It started early in the day. People texted me asking me, Boogie, are you watching this Kentucky game? They cannot stop Ole Miss. Are you watching? It carried over a little bit later. LSU started absolutely terrible against Auburn. We saw the Georgia and Missouri game. Georgia, lucky to get out of there with a win, but the bottom line is everybody in this fan base was watching and their confidence was growing. We're talking about a fan base that going into the year, some people saying 8 wins, some people saying as many as 10 wins for this Tennessee football team. And that's crazy to think in year 2 of the Josh Heupel era, but I think yesterday, watching college football, watching the way everything unfolded, this fan base, a lot of you guys have a lot more confidence as we move forward throughout the rest of the year. So I'm curious to get your comments on that. But again, this is the emotional reactions to the Week 4 scoreboard around the SEC. We're going to get into it, talk about it. As always, do me a favor, go ahead and smash that like button just below the video. It's quick, it's free, it's easy, it helps the channel. I'd greatly appreciate it. Also, if you are new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, welcome. Now, we're not experts, we're not insiders, we are fans just like you. This channel is for the fans, by the fans. If you like what we do, make sure you subscribe, click that bell for notifications. You won't miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. I'll be live tonight, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, playing a little NCAA football. But we're also going to move into LSU week. It is officially LSU week. Going to be live on Monday morning. The morning show returns at 9 a.m., so make sure you tune in for that as well. But let's take a look at the scoreboard, look around the SEC, see what's going on. We're going to talk about some of these games. Again, the one that I was really watching, I wanted to see what Kentucky looked like against Ole Miss, but more importantly, we got LSU going on the road to take on LSU this coming Saturday. That LSU-Auburn game was on my radar, but we'll kind of take a look through the entire scoreboard. Of course, Florida's set to play a little bit later today. South Carolina dominated South Carolina State. No big deal there. But let's jump in. Let's talk about this Kentucky and Ole Miss game. Now, Kentucky had Chris Rodriguez back. Running back's been out for 4 games with a suspension. He was their returning leading rusher. And, man, Ole Miss just jumped out early to a 14-point lead. Kentucky kind of answers back. They fight, get back in the thing, but they had some miscues on special teams. They had a missed extra point, what was an extra point that was blocked. They also had an extra point where they failed to get the snap, couldn't get the snap down, couldn't get the hold down. They also had a missed field goal on the day. But the bottom line is Kentucky was driving late in the third quarter with a chance to tie the game. It's kind of hanging in the balance. You just thought maybe Kentucky's going to come back. You get late into the game, and Will Levis absolutely chokes, turns the ball over. They had 2 chances late in the fourth quarter to tie this game at the very least. They're down 3. All they need to do is kick a field goal. They get down in the red zone twice, and Will Levis coughs up the football. But I think, one of the keys to this game, a lot of you guys were texting me early in the day and talking about this Kentucky defense and their inability to stop Jackson Dart when he's running the football. He had 8 carries for 40 yards, averaged 5 yards a carry. But I think, this Ole Miss defense is really the credit for this win. I think they were able to get pressure on Will Levis all day, sacked him 3 times. The defense, they had 9 tackles for loss. So I think you just saw the Ole Miss defense respond, and that's something that I want to see from this Tennessee defense. I want to see that aggressiveness. It's kind of funny, after the game, you guys probably seen the press conference with Lane Kiffin, said, yeah, we did pretty good. You got to praise this defense. Anytime you can stop the number 1 draft pick and hold him to 19 yards. So some smart comments there from Lane Kiffin after the game. But look, Will Levis, when you look at his line, when you look at his number, 18 to 24, 220 yards and 2 touchdowns, that's not a bad day at the office. He just didn't have that dynamic type of game. And again, I think the pressure got to him, and then you put in the fact that he turned the ball over. I think Will Levis does have all the physical attributes. I think he has all the tools to be an NFL quarterback. I just think when the game's on the line, clutch situations, he does not get it done, and that's what we saw last night or yesterday afternoon when he fumbles twice down the stretch. Alabama, Arkansas, this is one that Alabama kind of jumped out on him. They were up 28-0 at one point. You just thought, all right, here we go, same old, same old. Arkansas kind of fought back a little bit and thought it was going to be a football game, but ultimately Alabama just puts it on Arkansas. Yes, I did go out on a limb and say that Arkansas was going to upset Alabama, but the big news coming out of this game is the Bryce Young injury. How bad is it? He's got an AC sprain in his throwing shoulder. Nick Saban said after the game, not that big of an issue. He'll be fine. I fully expect him to be back and ready to go next week. And then more importantly, I think he'll be back against Tennessee. But Alabama takes care of business. Jimbo Fisher doing everything he can to be mediocre at Texas A&M as always. Drops the game to Mississippi State 42-24. LSU. This was the game I had my eyes on. And the reason for that, obviously, Tennessee going on the road this Saturday, noon kick to take on LSU. 4-1 LSU. After that mishap to open the season, they've rattled off 4 straight wins, 2-0 in SEC play. The guy that stands out to me in this football game is B.J. Ojulari. And LSU defensive lineman, one of the best pass rushers in the SEC. And I think when you just look at this game, it was kind of a slow start. And I think part of that may be, and this is just speculation, opening kickoff, LSU defender goes down, got the neck brace on, getting strapped down to the backboard, carted off the field. And even the announcers were talking about it at the time it happened, that LSU has to kind of recenter and focus on the task at hand. You got to go play a football game. And when you see a teammate, a brother, go down like that, it can be tough to bounce back. And Auburn jumped all over them early, 17-0, 17-0 right out of the gate with about 6 minutes left in the first half. And then the guy I mentioned earlier, B.J. Ojulari, goes in and just makes a play. Sometimes there's turnovers, and that was a key part of this game. Auburn turned the football over 4 times, but sometimes a turnover is a defender going and making a play, and that's exactly what happened here. Strip sack, scoop, and score. LSU cuts it to 17-7, and then that's it. 21 unanswered points from LSU. But again, I think the big point here is that LSU defense. But hey, that's what I like, because I think Tennessee's offense is going to be able to go out and score on anybody in the country. I think we would all agree on that. If it's going to be a shootout, you got to like Tennessee's odds to do that. Also, a story coming out of this, Jaden Daniels left the game with a lower body injury. Now, they said it was just knee-on-knee contact, that it wasn't really no structural damage, but I thought it was worth noting when I was reading and following up on that, they were saying that the knee was locking up. That doesn't really sound like just knee-on-knee, deep bruise type of deal. Locking up, that's exactly, that's a torn meniscus could be when your knee starts locking up. But Jaden Daniels did not have a good day, and he scares me way more with his feet than he does his arm. 8 for 20 through the air, 8 for 20, 80 yards, had 16 carries for 59 yards and a touchdown. LSU, they couldn't get going. They could not get going early, but they got it done, and again, it was on the back of their defense. So is that a good thing or a bad thing as we move into this game with the Tigers on Saturday? Because I think if their offense struggles, they're not going to be able to rely on that defense against Tennessee. I think Tennessee's going to outscore them. Look, it's early. It's early in the week. It's Sunday. I'm feeling confident, maybe more confident about this LSU game than I did just a week ago. But we'll see how that Jaden Daniels injury plays out. Is that going to limit him in the run game? Auburn did a good job staying in their pass lanes, kind of keeping him bottled up and in the pocket. He was able to get out and make a few plays, but you're not going to win many football games with 270 total yards on offense. So if their offense continues to struggle, 5 of 15 on third down, had 10 penalties, just a lot of things from LSU that they were lucky to get out of there with a win. But again, it comes back to turning the football over 4 times. Auburn, you cannot turn the football over 4 times and get out of there with a win. Georgia, Missouri, everybody talking about this game last night. Missouri 0-16 all time versus the number 1 ranked team in the country. Georgia has not trailed the entire season. They have not trailed once this entire season, but they trailed for pretty much this entire game except for when it counted, and that was at the end. Favored by 31 points. Just started absolutely terrible on offense. I think they had 3 or 4 punts and 2 fumbles their first 5-6 drives, and Missouri had to lead 13-3 late. You had a chance, Missouri. Missouri, you had a chance late in that first half, up 13-3. Break a big-time run down to the 1, but you can't get in. Then you have a false start. You got to settle for a field goal, and that's kind of the storyline here. Just too many field goals. Missouri being a 31-point underdog, you can't go out and kick that many field goals and be in the game late. But look, it is what it is. A lot of you guys have a lot of confidence coming out of this week. A lot of confidence when you look at Georgia, when you look at LSU, Kentucky, even a lot of people talking about Alabama, Bryce Young being down. A lot of you guys have some confidence, but with that Georgia game, man, I get it. You got to remember, they've not trailed the entire season. Good football teams find a way to win games when they don't show up, and that's what Georgia did on Saturday. I still think they're the best team in the SEC. I think they're a better football team than Alabama, but LSU, little different story, man. I like this matchup with LSU. We'll continue to break it down throughout the week. Make sure you guys hit that comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Is your confidence level up coming through this bye week? Seeing Georgia slip up a little bit. Seeing Kentucky get beat. Seeing LSU, who was down, but they battled back, again, on the back of their defense, not their offense. I think that plays in our favor. Also, make sure you smash the thumbs up. Go check out the merchandise, bonfire.com/store/TalkinVols. Hope to see you guys in the chat tonight, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. But that's going to do it for this one. This is the Talkin' Vols Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.